I was like, you have to go now. And she was like, what is your name? And I was like, my name is James, and I own this place.
No, that's not how it went. She said, well, what is your name? And then she's like, let me speak to your manager and supervisor. She said something like that.
It's all,
or let me
I
speak
am
to
the manager,
owner.
B.
Yes, and he did that, and it was awesome. All right, so I'm curious about these reviews. So Adam, what happened with your reviews?
We can talk about that. I got a bad review super recently.
What'd you do?
I don't know, man. Like, I tattooed some whack ass fool.
Did you have bad vibes like right from the consultation period?
No,
'Cause I feel like
I think it was just I wouldn't say like bad vibes, good energy, but maybe just very inexperienced in the tattoo process, very young.
Okay, but what about your period one? That's the good one.
Well,
where they went to Texas Roadhouse.
The most recent one.
I'm talking
let
about.
Let him go first. We'll get to that one though. I want to hear about this one. So what happened?
So the most recent one, I've had 2 bad reviews. In the 5+ years I've been tattooing, I've had 2 bad reviews, and they were both kind of strange to me. I don't know. I've probably done some past tattoos for sure, but like
none of those people left the bad one.
Yeah,
right. They were cool with it.
It's like a good one, but just somebody that's weird.
Right, dude. So I feel like it was just kind of weird. So I tattooed this dude's hand. I did one of those like skeleton hand kind of pieces, you know, where you just like do like the bone anatomy structure. Yeah, the bone fingers. And I told him like right off the bat, like, dude, we're doing a hand tattoo.
Zombie boy shit.
I always do a second pass on any kind of hand tattoo or areas
that's normal.
Due to fallout,
due to fallout, any kind of area that's a little bit like questionable kind of like skin that's not like super susceptible to like actually holding in that ink. I always tell them we're gonna need at least 2 sessions. So I told him that right off the bat. I don't know, after a while he was fully healed, and then it was just like at the point where it was just like maybe like a month and a half out, and he was just like, dude, came at me sideways. Like, I know that, James, I sent you the screenshots of our whole conversation. Yeah. And I was like, basically just being like, he sent me a message being like, I don't want to work with you anymore. You messed up this tattoo. It's like not fixable. And I was just like, what? And I was like, look, dude, I don't think it's that bad. Like, you might be like regretting.
Good tattoo.
And he left a review on the shop?
Yeah. Right. So I was
like, bring your rating down and shit?
Heal up.
Right.
That's what he did. He heal up.
I was like, look, dude, you might be regretting this decision of getting your tattoo on your hand.
Okay.
I don't know, dude.
You healed it incorrectly.
I don't like the heel of the foot.
It's important. Like, I don't normally tattoo like younger kind of people, like on hands, neck, and face, and like this was those that like I let him convince me like he otherwise basically
that he was responsible.
Yeah. So a lesson learned, I guess, again. I don't know, dude. It was just like one of those things where he came at me like really sideways, and I tried to salvage it so many times. I was like, dude, I'll touch it up. I'll try to make this right. And like, he was not having it. James, you saw the messages.
So like, what did it look like after the fact? Did it just fall out or some shit, or what?
Well, I'll tell you, because I saw the pictures of it, right? So he sent me the fresh pictures of it, and it looked real legit. It was pretty good. Skeleton hand tattoo.
Right, wouldn't shoot up, nothing
Everything
crazy.
Looked nice. You know what I'm saying? It was like legit as
I mean, even the heel tattoo, I feel like it was actually like it was like where it should have been. Like, it was like, dude, we just need another pass.
Depends on the hands, right? Depends on the hands.
We just need a pass.
I'll explain the science behind it real quick, as far as like some bro science. Some people, they have rougher skin on their hands because maybe they have done more shit with their hands, or
they do construction, or they're outside all the time.
More friction, more heat, more something, and what happens is your hand builds up like a layer of skin that's actually not alive, and it's dead. The cells, the blood ain't really getting to it, and the dermis and epidermis, they're just crusty.
That shit's already shed off. It's just attached.
And that's what happens when you do the first pass on somebody that has hands like that. That's why when people ask me for hand tattoos and finger tattoos,
I feel their hands.
I get weird. I feel their hands.
Yeah,
I touch their hands, and I'm like, yo, this, I don't know about that.
Exactly.
And so
I call it alligator skin.
Because he's so young, though, I doubt that was the case with him, because if somebody's young, usually they're going to have softer hands, right?
This is the thing, too. He was hurting so bad during the tattoo that I have a feeling he realized it was like a shock to him at how much those types of tattoos hurt. That on your hands.
He didn't want to see
that shit kills,
so
dude.
I saw a picture of it.
So I only have one hand tattooed right now. Hurts.
I saw a picture of the before. I saw a picture of the after. There was a lot of fallout after, and personal opinion on it as far as like my evaluation of the situation is that somehow he up the heel. I don't know if I'm doubting you healed him with like Sanoderm or some sort of like a sticky wrap.
No, I don't do
it's
Sanoderm
on the
on the
hands,
hands.
right? Like,
So
how
he
you gonna fit it on
probably
there?
put way
He
too
put
much
way too much
ointment on.
ointment. That's what I was just about to
Didn't
say.
really want to wash
And his
it
hands were-
thoroughly either. 'Cause
He
it
had the
hurts.
dry ass skin that was already gonna flake bad, and he probably put way too much ointment on.
And it caused a lot of
I think just
fallout.
regardless, like I've done hand tattoos first pass, they're fine, and then I always recommend doing another pass anyways, just so that I know so I can sleep at
And that's
night.
what I was about
just
to get.
do
When
another
you
session
tattoo
where it's
people
solid.
that have that rough skin, a lot of times the first pass you do, all it does is shed off and flake off a layer of all the dead skin and exfoliate it essentially on the top. And on the second session, that's when the ink actually sticks. So you already had a touch-up session scheduled with this dude. I read the email because basically I responded to the review because I'm the shop.
Right.
So I responded to the review and I was like, okay, just go ahead and email me. Let me know what's happening. I talked to Adam. He emails me and he shows me a picture of the tattoo. And Adam had already sent pictures of the tattoo. And my professional opinion on it was you up the heel. That's what happened. And with a second pass, it would probably actually be pretty legit. But he refused to come in for the second pass because he was so mad about the result on the first pass. And then this mother had the nerve to ask for a refund.
He kept asking for a refund.
And he talks about how he's going to come in and get the money from me. Good luck, bro. Like, good luck.
Pull up.
Pull up, dude.
I've never fucking,
I would
I've
love
never
to see
once in my
that.
life,
That's
I've
the whole
never heard
reason
of
you signed a
any
waiver.
situation
There is
like
a
that.
consent form for a reason.
Right.
You are not getting a refund
No.
because this is not a, it's
Not only that, but it's like,
if
dude,
you buy
I'm
a bag
trying
of
to
bud,
help you
know
out.
what I mean? Nah, you ain't getting a refund on your bag of bud.
Dude,
Right.
ultimately, I'm trying to make sure all the tattoos I do are tip top and like they're up to standard.
And it
like
was
they're
good.
up to like just a good quality tattoo.
That was one of the
and,
better
like,
skeleton hands I've ever seen, actually,
dude,
when you
I'm
sent me
just
the
saying,
picture.
like,
That shit happens. It happens, dude. Like I've done a few of those. And you see it healed, like it looks decent, but it needs a second pass. It almost always. needs
That's
a
how the
second pass.
hands
And if he
are.
were,
Like,
if
that's
he
a
were willing to do
requirement.
that, then he would have a better tattoo. But instead, what he got was
Well, what about you
a middle
guys?
finger.
Have you had any kind of bad reviews before?
I've only had one,
One.
and it was at James's shop. I don't really quite remember it, but I know I didn't do anything.
I've
Oh
read that.
my
I've read
god,
that.
I know exactly what you're talking
Alright.
about. That was on my birthday. That crazy
I didn't know I
lady
didn't do shit though. It
calling
wasn't
you
me.
the N-word.
Yeah, she called me some
Well,
shit like that,
it was
right?
like it wasn't just
Yeah.
at you, but
It
that's
was
like
wild.
what
She
she
called me to
done
my face.
because she
And
was
then she left
complaining
a
about a
bad
piercing
review.
that she didn't get
We
from
don't
any
pierce.
of us.
We didn't
we
pierce.
don't
Yeah.
do piercings.
Oh yeah, I
Bro, that
remember
lady's
this. It's coming
crazy
back.
as
We don't do
Tell the whole
piercings.
story then. You tell the
trailer
whole story.
trash.
Do you remember the whole story or no?
A little bit.
I think it's coming back to me. I,
I
feel
remember
like
the review. I
So,
wasn't there. But go
I
ahead.
was there because she walks
came in for a piercing.
She came in
And I
because
was
she
the
had
one
a
that talked to
dermal.
her.
No,
Yeah.
she came in. I was at the front. She started talking to me. She said she had a dermal that she had gotten, and she said it was from us. And I said no, like it
Right.
wasn't.
It was
previous
it was
ownership.
the previous owner before
Yeah.
James had the
Years
shop.
ago.
And I said
Yeah.
like, nah, it wasn't us. Like,
a different
and
shop.
none of us are piercers. Like, we can't help you. And so she starts flipping her shit, and
Yeah.
that's when you come out.
Yeah, I stepped in. I
And
started
you-
trying to talk to her.
You
And be
try
like,
to
hey.
calm her down.
Right, try to calm her down. Be like, hey, like that was a former business. This is a new business now. This business has only been since what? It was 2014 when you opened the shop.
Yeah.
16.
And we've
Yeah.
never done piercings,
That's
and
what
we
I'm
never
saying.
will.
It was like they never did piercings, so that must have been under the old management, the old artists, the
We're not
old
responsible for
owners.
that.
We're not responsible for that kind of shit. And she just like you and that, and then she lost her shit and stormed
And then
out the
so
shop.
did her
and shit.
nasty husband.
Yeah,
And
so-
it went on like
and then
outside.
they left me the review. Like
Yeah.
I was the one that did something. To
Yeah,
them.
they
Like,
were
I didn't even do
insane.
shit. Bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Insane.
Said that you went out there and started cussing her out and all this shit when really, like,
I didn't even say shit to her. I went outside still trying to calm her ass down.
no.
You know?
Yeah, that was crazy.
About me though is that when I read these reviews or whatever, and then I talk to the people that work with me, right? Like I know you guys, and
it's
I know my
usually
friends.
just negligence.
They're all handpicked. You know what I mean? Everybody that works in my shop. So I believe them because I've known all you guys for years, right? When some random leaves a review and they think that I'm going to go on Google or Yelp or something and kiss their ass because that's the culture these days,
Right.
they're dead wrong.
I
when it
mean,
comes
it's
to
actually
me, man.
hilarious.
My
If you guys-
resume speaks for itself. You can go on Dark Horse right now. Look how many reviews got my name on that bitch.
Oh yeah, a lot of great
A
ones.
lot of them.
A lot of
Or
great ones.
have my name on that
And
bitch.
Adam too. Somebody just left a
Because-
good one for Adam literally yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Reason being is because I have the philosophy that you need to be doing everything you can to provide,
That
A1
actually might have been
customer
this morning.
service
Yeah.
to your clients. And you need, because the reviews are everything for the shop.
Yeah.
And it helps. It
We
either
have
helps.
a very high rating.
You do.
It's like 4.7,
You
4.8
do.
stars.
And all the ones
and there's
that
hundreds of reviews.
All of the reviews that brought your shop down are bullshit reviews.
Yep.
All of them.
true.
And I
Every
respond to
single
them
one
as
of them.
such. I do not entertain them.
Every
If you
single
guys,
one.
if you guys are watching this, and
So
you
his
get a
shop
chance,
should have
go to
his shop should have
so
a 5.0.
Hold on,
Everyone
hold on.
was a crazy ass person on there.
Go to
every single
go to
one
Dark
of the
Horse
bad
tattoo
ones.
companies.
Yeah, you gotta
Yelp
read
reviews
these.
or Google reviews in Arizona and look at some of the responses from James because they're
They're hilarious.
I love
just-
reading them.
they're
I just
great.
shit all over
They're
them.
the
'cause I'm
best.
like,
I've
nope.
got one that you still need to respond to because that lady was full of shit.
I think one of the best ones was when the lady that came in and was asking to talk to the owner, and she was talking to you the whole
Bro, you were
time.
there. Yeah. She was. Bro, she was
Sometimes
so
we get
good.
crazy
She
ass
was
people
so
too,
mad,
though.
bro.
Dude, we get
Tell
crazy.
it.
like
Tell it,
talking
bro.
about, yo, I'm here for a consult with Jesse, and I'm like, Jesse just left like 15 minutes ago, and she was huffing and puffing, and then I was like, okay, well, I can go ahead and call him and have him come back or whatever, and I didn't know it was just for a consult. I didn't know. It
Right,
was a
just he
consult
made
for
a
tattoo.
mistake. He forgot. He
He
went
had-
home.
He had just got back in town
Right.
from Alabama.
Fool's always
And
traveling.
He's always traveling. He just got back in town from Alabama. He was burnt out. He ended up forgetting about the consult. Went home. He went home like 15 minutes ago, and I told her, look, he works hard and he likes his job, so he'll come back right now if you guys got something going on. And she was like, no, that's not necessary. I was like, okay, well, was it for a tattoo or is it a consultation or what? And she was like, it's for a consultation. I said, oh, what's the big deal? Just go ahead and reschedule it. She said, what's the big deal? The big deal is I do that. She has a Louis V purse and shit. What's the big deal is I'm really important. I work hard and I travel all the time. I said, look, all right, we travel a lot too. You know what I mean? That's why he went home, is because he's burnt out. If he forgot about it, that's cool. I try to offer you a
Especially
solution.
Jesse's
He's a
guest
He's a
spotted all
workhorse,
over-
bro.
Dude,
He's
probably the
he's
hardest
guest
working
spotted
tattooer I've
all
ever
over
met.
the U.S.
So I'm like, okay, well, I offered you a solution. You're not taking it or whatever. And she started going off on me and she's yelling in my face. And I said, look, you got to leave. And she was like, what do you mean I have to leave? I was like, you have to go now. And she was like, what is your name? I was like, my name is James and I own this place.
No, that's not how it went. She said, well, what is your name? And then she's like, let me speak to your manager and supervisor. She said something like that.
It's all,
or let me
I
speak
am
to
the manager,
owner.
B.
Yes, and he did that, and it was awesome.
It was like
so good.
It was like straight, like Dave Chappelle pop copy.
I am the manager.
It was so
What
good.
the do you want? So I
He
was
was like, I am the owner.
Tell him we
like,
use Linux.
you gotta leave and you can never come back. And she changed her whole attitude. And she was like,
Once she
no.
found out he was the owner, she was trying to suck him off after that.
She was
dude.
like, wait a second. She's like, wait a second. It's not a big
Crazy.
deal. She said, it's not a big deal. And I said, oh, it's not a big deal? Because that's what I just said 60 seconds ago that caused you to go off like this.
And now it is a big
And
deal.
now it is a big deal because you made it one. So check this out. That's how it's going to work. You got to leave. You can never come back. You're not getting a tattoo by Jesse in this shop, regardless of what your relationship with him is or how you know him. I'm not going to be talked to like a child. You got to bounce.
Right.
And she's all, real professional.
Right.
And she just like bounces
No,
on
but
that.
I think it's, dude, it's so dope that you
and then
handle
she tried
things
to
like that.
leave
Like,
a review on top of that.
And then,
Yeah, that was
I
wild.
jump on the response for the review because she leaves a bad review explaining it. And I said, look, man, this ain't a mother Starbucks. This is not Capital Grill where you can complain to somebody about how the foie gras on your steak was not, perfectly
Exactly.
placed or whatever. I was like, the customer is not always right. We're not part of the Navy. We're pirates. You know what I'm saying? So we're
Exactly.
not following your dumbass rules. You can't just come up in here with any attitude you want and talk however you want. Because if that's the case, you're gonna get
You're
86.
gonna get what you get.
You're gonna
You know
get
what I'm saying?
86 in the same way that I 86 this lady. So just understand when you come in here, come correct. That's basically what I said in the review.
Because like the way I see it is like I feel like you should bend over backwards and try and provide the best service you can, but you ain't no doormat. You know what I'm saying?
I offered a solution.
Right, and she didn't wanna
And
take it,
She just
so-
wanted somebody to bend the knee to her, and she just wanted to be.
what about James? Have you had bad reviews?
I have had a bad review one time where a chick came in and she was young. She's like 16 years old. I don't even tattoo people that are under 18. But she came in and she
It's
asked.
on the door. It's on the glass.
It's on no children. That's what it says. So she came in and she asked, what about 2 black and gray roses? And showed me a picture of some pretty detailed black and gray roses that are like surrealism. And she was like, how much would this cost? And I said, depends on which artist does it or whatever. But, at the time, I wasn't even charging that much. Now I charge $250 an hour. Back then, I was charging like $120 an hour. So I was like, those 2 roses, if it fills up the whole forearm, that's probably going to take 6 hours or something like that, 7 hours. I said, so you'll probably be looking at like $800, somewhere in that range. And she argues with me about it and then leaves a bad review and says, oh, I got somebody down the street that'll do it cheaper and this place is trying to rip you off and all this stuff. FR for real,
She doesn't
for real.
even get work
with
done.
emojis and all that stuff. Yeah, she didn't even get no work done. And I said, look, man, like, I understand that you're a child and you don't really like understand like what quality tattoos are. How
But don't
long
be
they
leaving
take.
bad reviews.
And you can't afford
for
it.
people who
Can't
establish
afford it.
businesses like
That's
this.
basically what I told her. I said, would you walk into a Mercedes dealership and tell them their cars are too expensive because you can only like afford a used Nissan Sentra?
Yeah,
Get the
child, and you don't
shit.
understand like
You
what
don't
it takes
understand
to
none
like
of it.
establish a
I
business
can buy
like
a
that.
Mercedes on Facebook Marketplace for 10,000.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a salvaged one.
Right.
Like get the out of here. So yeah, that's the only one I think I've ever had was that one
For
right
real?
there. And it was just during a consult. Yep.
Damn, dude. So I have two.
And that one I had was the only one I've ever had.
Yeah, Adam, what
The
about
other
your
one?
other one? 'Cause
Dude, the
that's
other
my
one is
favorite.
Hilarious,
Oh, you know what?
but
I had
like,
another one.
do you want to talk about it?
Sure. I had consulted with somebody via text when I traveled to 4 cities in 1 month, right? I went to Salt Lake City, I went to Boston, New York City, and New Orleans all in 1 month. 3 of them were for expos, and one of them was for a personal vacation that was to New Orleans. And Salt Lake City was the next expo coming up, and I was in New Orleans on vacation when this person texted me and said they wanted to get tattooed in Salt Lake City. Now, she's talking about how she wants to get a skyline with a tiger and a police badge and all this shit. And I looked at pictures of it.
Lot
That
of
sounds
stuff that's
stupid.
A
already
lot of
like
dumb shit.
clashing.
Yeah, all in one area on the forum.
already clashing.
So I'm like, okay,
Terrible
I'm looking
idea.
at pictures of the
Anytime
Salt Lake
someone
City.
says Skyline, I immediately leave the chat.
It's hard.
Mentally checking out.
It's
Not
hard
doing
without the
it.
right pictures. And a Salt Lake City skyline doesn't really look that great. So I looked at the pictures of it. I said, look, the skyline doesn't look that great. Some of the shit ain't going to match up. So if you just want to get the tiger, that's cool. If you want to change the concept, that's cool. Let me know. She didn't respond to me. So she ends up leaving a bad review. I go to Salt Lake City. I'm booked out all 3 days, of course. You know what I'm saying? Tattooed my whole way through. And she says that, I showed up to the expo and he was booked up and I couldn't get tattooed by him and this is totally unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. And she leaves a review on the shop for it. Right. And it's like, okay, first off, I texted you and gave you options on how to do something else or change the concept, and you never responded to me. Mm-hmm. So if I didn't follow up with you, that's because it's more awkward for me to like push you towards some design that you don't want. I'm just assuming you don't want the tattoo at that point. So if you showed up to the expo expecting me to just be open and to get tattooed, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Second off, you've never been inside my shop. You've never spent any money with me. I've never met you in person. And you basically just texted me out of the blue because you found me on the convention's website. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I tattooed all weekend and made a bunch of bread. And
she was just mad. That was
that's
her
a you
only way
problem.
of like trying to, you know, take a stab at you
That's a
and
you
just
problem.
like get back at you. But really, it's because she wasn't
It's
getting
always during
tattooed by
consults.
you. And yeah,
But I'm a dick during consults, you know?
you're
I
a
don't
dick
think
during
so.
consults. I don't think so
I
either.
disagree. I feel
I
like
feel
I
like you're
learned
very
a lot.
thorough. You're thorough as
I feel like I learned a lot watching
my
you
way or the
consult.
highway.
I learned a lot about how to conduct a consultation by watching you do consultations.
How so?
So you have a way, your terminology that you use with clients, the way you direct the conversation.
Tell me more.
I feel like I could joke about it like super, like
I'm
super
dead
hard
ass
right
serious.
now.
I felt like I drew a lot from the way I talk to clients from your interactions. Like right now, my whole consultation process is pretty streamlined. So where I can pretty much do it through the DMs now. But before, when I was doing it in the shop, I would sit there and I would literally watch you consult and then be like, I like the way you did that.
I can do a good job doing like the
take some shit from it.
pre-consult for you, like how I used to.
Yeah.
But if it's me, nah. I lose the skills.
Your art terminology is really effective too, like how you explain shit, you know,
You should just
atmosphere,
literally make up a
perspective.
word and
no,
put
he's
it
got
in
real
there.
art terminology that works for real.
Well, I mean, going to art school and
You
being
know,
classically trained changes that. So I'll tell you
Secondary
what, a lot
subject
of-
matter, tertiary subject matter, shit like that. You
Yeah,
know?
priority. There's a few
Yeah,
key words you got to
yeah.
mention during a consult.
There's like a few of them.
Legibility.
No, dude, I feel like there's like a few things that are
Yeah,
like the
legibility.
James sauce that like we can't share on this shit.
It works, bro. I use that shit all the time.
I
I'd be
say it in
like,
front of
yeah.
my
making
clients.
sauce.
I say it
I'm
in front of my
making
clients.
sauce.
But after I went to school, it made a lot more sense, though. I'll say it because before I watched you, and I was like, "Damn, where all this shit coming from?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Go to school." I went to school when I was working at his shop, learned a bunch of shit. It made a way more sense, and I was like, "All right, now I kind of understand how to compose this shit."
How to
Well,
talk
that's
about-
that's
yeah.
how we made the sauce, dude.
Yeah, so
the sauce.
That's how he made the sauce.
The
You gotta
consult secret
talk
sauce.
about your one review.
James could
with
sell
the
salt to a
Texas
slug.
Roadhouse.
oh god,
He what?
yeah, he could sell salt to a slug.
I could, I could, bro.
Water to a whale.
I could sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady wearing white gloves in the summertime.
So my second review was
It's actually your first one.
Oh yeah. So we talked about
I
my
love
second one
this.
actually. So my first one, it was I worked at a different shop over in Chandler, and it was a really like strange interaction. Like to begin with, basically like the client
shop?
came at me at a different shop.
Was it a solid shot? Were they good?
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, so the
love
client
this
asked
story.
me if if I would do this Polynesian tattoo, and I don't do Polynesian stuff. I don't know the lick of it. I've always like
It's a
thought
niche
if I
style.
if I misappropriate a culture, I'm not interested in doing it. So I have never wanted to do anything like that. So he asked me for a Polynesian tribal, which if you guys aren't familiar, it's a very like Samoan based, Hawaiian based, like a very, like a tribal type of design, very traditional. It is not something that I do. However, I was about to go to Hawaii at the time, and the client caught wind of that during our consultation. And that was probably what I shouldn't have told him is like in a couple of weeks leading up till that, I was about to go to Hawaii, and he was from the islands and saying like, you're the guy.
You're the guy.
I was like,
You're the one.
I was
You're
trying to
going
convince
there.
him the whole time, like, look, man, I'm not the guy. And then I told him, I was like, I'm about to go to Hawaii in a couple
He's
weeks.
like,
And
"Oh,
he's
so
like,
you'll know."
You're the guy.
You'll spend your entire trip learning how to do my tattoo.
And
Right.
that is exactly what he told me. He's
And
like,
he
why don't you
said,
just
too,
stop
he's
into
like-
some shops and
And
brush
learn
up
some
on how
shit.
we do this,
I'll
you know?
do that. Yeah.
He's like, you're indigenous.
Just get the
but
bone hammer
Arizona.
chisel thing
Shark
and
tooth.
just
He said that too. He
bang
goes-
this shit into my skin.
I know, some like Tabori, some Tatao kind of stuff. He goes, yeah, you're indigenous because I'm native, like from Arizona. And he's all, you're indigenous, bro. I feel it, like it was on some like,
How many
yeah.
You can
thousands of
spend your
miles
vacation
away?
carving out your bone needle that
But
you're gonna do my tattoo
was he
with.
like Samoan or like Pacific Islander, or was he just like a white dude that wanted to look like The Rock?
Definitely not a white dude. He was legit. No. I'll give him that.
Okay.
He was from
How
the
much
islands.
did he weigh?
was born and raised.
How much did
I
he
can't
weigh?
get too much into this,
Okay,
but
all right.
he was like authentic. I
Was
would
he
say.
a hefty boy?
Yeah, dude, he was big as bro, like tall and bigger than you. Like
I mean, he's Samoan, right?
Brick house.
They're,
Samoans
not
they're
even like,
linebackers, bro.
dude.
I got
not
Tongan
even,
homies that are just huge for no reason.
like
Big
not
boys
even
for
no,
life.
I grew
Yeah.
up with Tongans, and like
Me
this
too.
fool, like he was stacked.
Yeah.
Just big.
He was like, "You're gonna do my tattoo."
So the dude was basically saying, yeah,
You can do what I
didn't
want.
feel pressured into doing it, but I think he had a way of persuading me because he felt it was like his truth in like me being indigenous and like going to Hawaii, that it was like, this is it kind of
Maybe
thing.
that was like stars aligning for him.
Exactly.
Oh.
So I think
So you did
being a very like traditional type of process, that's what he felt.
So you
at
did the
time.
tattoo?
So I did actually, and not only that, I let him make an entire Spotify playlist of what is
Polynesian
it?
shit?
Traditional Polynesian music I normally listen to during those ceremonies, and
You
I
let him
listened to the
rock that
whole
shit.
thing during that tattoo. I
So
swear.
you
to God.
tried your hardest to make it legit.
I really did.
He was
And it was a
channeling
dope
that
tattoo.
shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I've
Yeah.
never done Polynesian stuff, but I did that one, and I.
Was
rocked
this
it.
the
So
second session that he freaked out?
That was the first one that I did,
And he
I
was
don't
cool
even
with
think I
the
told
first
you
session?
that, but I had to tell you that during like the video. So the second time he approached me, he tried to schedule another session to continue with the tattoo that I did, and I was like, "Look, man, this was like a year later, and I was like, look, man, I like really don't do this stuff now. Like, sorry, but I'm not interested in like
It's been a
continuing
long
with
time.
this tattoo."
Wow.
Yeah, and so I was like, dude, I'm sorry, but I don't think this is gonna work. And he's just like, nah, man, you already started it, like, stars align kind of thing. He convinced me to do the tattoo again.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
That's a
all
tough
right.
one to get out of if you already started it, because you're like, all right, well.
Yeah. So anyway, so he ended up rescheduling on me one time, which is already like a super red flag. Comes in for the next time. And when he came in for the second time to do the tattoo, I showed him like these like strange kind of symbolic kind of things that he was looking for. He was like, no, that's not. Like, he's like, I had a I don't know, like a vision or something, and he's like, I think we're gonna change it to like a completely different avenue. And I was just like,
But it was
all
already
right,
started?
whatever you say.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's talk about it. And I start drawing stuff on the spot to try to like pull stuff from him. Mind you, like this dude, I don't think is like completely, like mentally stable. I don't think he's like in the right kind of place, because everything had like a weird kind of meaning.
I love clients
and
like that.
Everything had an association with the keyboard, which was like,
what the
like an actual like typing keyboard. This might be a little too specific, but it was like too strange for me to be like, okay, well, you're like a sane person, So,
but what do those two things have to do with each other?
Exactly.
Okay, so
bro, these
you know
people
how
are
like
crazy.
so traditional like Polynesian stuff, everything has a meaning. I'll give him that.
Yeah, they do.
But
I've researched it. I've done Polynesian tattoos.
So then he would take that and be like, all right, so the meaning to this, I needed to align with my grandfather that also has an association with the E key on the keyboard, because the E is where I was at this time of day and this time. It was weird.
No.
Dude,
it
got really,
I
really
would have
weird.
told him no pretty
all right,
early
so
on.
I'm already knee deep into this, and
Bro,
like,
I feel
I'm at a shop.
I would get stuck in this situation too. I
So,
feel so bad for you,
dude,
I would have been like, I deducted your deposit from the first appointment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a wrap. I'm not gonna take another
So,
deposit. I'm
dude,
sorry.
Mind you, at the time, I'm at a shop where like I can kick that away any given day. Like I can quit whenever I want. I don't have to take that.
So
But
what was it
I
inside
felt
you that
like-
stopped you?
Because he was
kicking?
a cool enough dude. Like he was.
That's how they are, though. The worst clients, sometimes they
They're
sneak their way in
nice.
because
he,
they're
he
extra
nice.
was hella.
So they're hard to turn
But they're
down because they're
insane.
super nice, but they're crazy, and then you don't realize
Yes.
they're crazy until
Dude.
they actually get in your chair. Now they're spending money with you. You've already put in a little outline, or you did some black work.
You know
on
how,
me.
Me,
like-
the worst ones are the ones that they don't show they're crazy, but they come from out of town, and I feel obligated to tattoo them because they drove so far or they flew so far.
Yeah.
And
I don't think
any
they're
other day of the
tough.
week, I'd be like, you know what, you I'm not gonna do this.
But you feel like because they're
because
from
they
out of
came
town?
so far that I feel like I have
It feels
to do
like,
it.
oh, I'm guilty. Yeah, I feel guilty if I don't do it. So
Right.
what happened next, Adam?
Okay, so I ended up drawing out some of the tattoo, and mind you, so this dude is big as he's looking over me, and I'm sitting in my tattoo chair, and he's dude 6'5", like not even exaggerating, he's about 6'5", and he's looking over me, and he's built big as, just like, looking over me, trying to like haphazardly like sketch some of his ideas out while he's telling me his ideas.
He's like, yeah, getting there nice and deep.
Right.
Like.
Mind you, I don't draw Polynesian shit, so I'm like kind of just gesturing like rough shit, and every time I would just do the wrong thing, he would be like, no, like this, and I'd be like, after a few times of doing that, I was like, look, dude, yeah, so it was literally like this. So I looked at him like, dude, this isn't gonna work, and I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna draw with you bullying me over my shoulder like this. And then so he literally told me, because he's a big ass dude, he's like, I know what you mean by that, I'm not a bully. And I was like, look, dude, like I didn't feel like I was like insulting you by that, but you're looking over my shoulder, and I feel like very like not even intimidated. I feel like you're just like criticizing everything that I'm
I
trying
can
to
feel
do.
your
Like,
chest hairs on the back of my neck, dog.
I even told him that. I was like, dude, you're breathing down my neck right now. So basically, and I don't draw like that ever. Like very.
We all stop that at a
every
certain
once in a
point,
while.
yeah.
Yeah, every once in a blue moon, like I'll draw in front of the client. But that was
Yeah.
like a very rare occurrence because we were having difficulties about like how to get on the same page. So, anyways, I was like, look, dude, you're breathing down my neck. You're like. I'm not interested in working with you. I'm not going to work with you. I'm not going to do this. I'm sorry. I was like, I've never done this before, but like, I'm just going to like give your deposit back, and like, we're going to go separate ways because it is too much of a headache for me, dude. I'm not doing this. And so he was just like super offended, dude. He was so butthurt. He literally just like sat in the front of the shop. Mind you, this dude has his sunglasses on. He's always had his sunglasses on. I'd never seen the whites of his eyes.
You finally saw him? Did you see him right there?
No, but he sits up in the front of the shop and just his head just buried in his knees and just looking down and just so disappointed and with the sunglasses on, and he stayed up there for like over an hour.
That's
and
so weird. Like, why
the counter staff.
Okay, but then
The counter staff would just be like, "Do you need anything? Can we do anything?" So, anyways, so I get a bad review.
Adam, do my tattoo.
I'm gonna do my tattoo.
Come in the house. Ooh, you're gonna hold my pocket.
That definitely didn't happen. Hold my lube. No, dude. So I get a bad review that night.
Stroke the shaft.
And I was
Cradle the balls. I'm gonna get mine. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
The choice is yours.
James has been to prison, so this is how he's used to talking.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the end of the day, I get a bad review, and I end up getting confronted by my boss the next day. And my boss is like, "Yo, what's up with this bad review?" And I read the whole thing, and I was like, "This motherfucker." So I read the review, and I was like, you know what? Now I'm pissed, and it's personal. So I go to this fool's account, and I'm like, how many other bad reviews does he put on other people's businesses
Probably
and stuff
everyone.
like that?
No,
There
this
was
is so
only
good.
one more.
This is so good.
There was only one other bad review, and I was like, well, I'm curious. So
why
I
me
look at
then?
the other bad review, and it's the same day. It's after he left the tattoo shop. He goes to the
Texas Roadhouse,
Texas
right?
Roadhouse to get a steak, and he's just like 5-star review for Texas Roadhouse, which is mid as for a Texas or for a steakhouse.
steak.
Yeah, and their
Period.
bread sucks.
Ah, man. So he
You're
goes
like,
to
this guy's
Texas
gonna give me a
Roadhouse.
bad
Hey, hold
review?
hold on. It's so good.
He goes to Texas Roadhouse, leaves a 5-star review for some mid-ass service, and is just like, man, best steak I've ever had in my life. Unlike this tattoo experience that I just had with Adam over in Chandler. And he goes on me, and he's just like, he must have been on his period and all this blah blah blah, all this shit. I was like, this motherfucker. So
He
I
doubled
started
down on your ass. 2 reviews.
dude. He doubled the down. So
Everybody in Texas
that
will
fool-
know, and you will never get any clients from Texas Roadhouse customers.
Right, because they spend money on nice steaks anyway, bro. They're gonna spend money on a nice tattoo.
Oh God.
That's hilarious.
That was awful.
Yeah.
That was my
I feel you,
first
bro.
That's
bad
such
review.
a good story.
I haven't had a bad review, like a real bad one, but I did have to fire a client within the last 12
What was that
months.
like?
It was wild, bro, because we had she had one of them big old huge badonkadonks back there. So I was going to do like a side hip ass rose and butterfly banger.
Mm-hmm.
So
Banger.
big fucking huge roses. So the roses ended up being so big and the butterflies ended up being so big that the outlining session turned into its own session of 4 hours of
Yeah,
trying to
it's a large
outline
tattoo.
yeah,
Yeah,
gray
gotta
line
map it in.
things and black line things.
You gotta build the skeleton of it. Yeah.
It took a while, dude. So and mind you, she's kind of a little ratchet ass bitch, and she has shitty tattoos that she already has. So she's probably never had to sit in a chair longer than a couple hours to complete what she's had. She has roses on her forearm that look like shit. So session 2, we're going. It's like 2 hours in. I'm starting to render the first rose and shit. Things are starting to look dope. And she literally just explodes out of nowhere. Like, after going to the bathroom, took a bathroom break and come back and be like, this is just taking entirely too long. I've never had to sit this long for a tattoo, and you just need to hurry up and finish this and just get it done. Like, I've had roses before, and they look like shit, but they need to get done as quick as
if it
possible.
isn't like the size of a basketball. Like, what the?
Really, they're literally. And she's like, and I just don't like this, and I don't know where this is going. I'm like, I'm literally just getting started right now.
I mean, the size proportion,
I'm not even
forearm to like thigh.
I'm not even
and
a
like butt cheek.
fourth
is like
of the
way
way.
different.
I'm not even the fourth of the way through one rose.
Yeah, that's
Trust
she
starts
way more
fast.
ground to cover.
That's what I'm trying to tell him. Like, trust the process. Like, you've seen my other roses on my IG. Like, I can tattoo some roses pretty damn good in my
actually
opinion.
very good at roses. Yeah.
So you just gotta let me do my thing. I know it's taking longer than what you're used to, but honestly, the roses that I'm giving you are a lot higher quality than the one that you have on your forearm.
Yeah.
And hopefully, the editor, I'm gonna send some photos. Y'all can post a couple of my roses so
There you
people
go.
know
Yeah,
that I'm
they're
not a
tight.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I do pretty decent.
You guys
roses.
down with some roses?
So
Unlike
I'm
Adam.
trying to make her, at this point, I'm trying to
Unlike Adam, who's on his period.
Unlike my experience with Adam.
I'm trying to
I'm about to go to Texas Roadhouse after this session.
Texas Rose House.
I'm trying to diffuse the situation and calm her down and be like, yo, like this is just taking more time because there's a lot
good,
of room
actually.
to
And
do,
it's big.
and I'm gonna do the best job that I can do.
Yeah.
And I promise you it's gonna be a nice tattoo. You just gotta trust the process. You know, but as I sit there and I'm tattooing her, the more I think about it, I'm like, I've been tattooing for 12, 13 years. Like, you know what? I don't have to deal with this shit. And she's still giving me shit, telling me to hurry up. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want to finish this
Hurry
tattoo.
up is not a phrase that I listen to.
And I'm
ever.
like, that's what I'm saying.
You just finished the tattoo?
Oh, I told her I wasn't gonna do
That's
her.
pretty
I told
boss
her
move.
straight up, like, yo,
I like
like
that.
I just kind of feel disrespected right now.
Yeah.
The way that you came in me earlier was just not cool, and like, you know, honestly, I'm giving you something better than what you already have.
I would never say that to somebody tattooing.
You know, I just don't feel comfortable finishing the tattoo right now. You gotta, like he said, like you gotta bounce. You gotta go. You know, I'm not. And she
Sometimes you gotta
flipped
do it.
out. She flipped out. She's like, really? That's petty. I'm like, no. What's petty is the way you talked to me after you came out of the bathroom.
Come
Pause. For anybody listening who's not a tattoo artist, to put any type of pressure on your artist to work
Right.
faster is such a bad idea.
We're not workhorses.
Do not make us uncomfortable. You want a shitty tattoo? Make us uncomfortable.
Right, and
don't
that's
put
how I
some kind
felt.
of whack ass pressure on us. Like literally.
I felt like I'm not about to rush this tattoo
Slow is
to
fast and fast
do
is
a
slow.
worse job. To do a worse job to make you feel better. Then you're even gonna hate it even more when it is a worse job because I rushed it.
Because you made me uncomfortable and I had to speed up. Yeah, she's gonna f her own
And
shit
so
up.
at that point, I was like, you know what, you dude, like
Yeah.
I don't need your money. You know, the 200, like we're 2 hours in, you owe me $400. I have your $200 deposit. I'll eat the rest of that loss. You can get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have made her pay.
Sometimes you got to do it,
You gotta
though.
go. You know,
You just got to do it.
like I didn't want her money at that point. I just wanted her to get up and leave because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
That's
be.
messed up.
I've been tattooing for over a decade, dude,
Yeah,
and I
dude.
bust my ass for my clients. You're gonna sit there and
Bro, I've seen you
disrespect me
deal
like
with
that,
some
dude.
shit that is like unreal, like screaming, wailing, fucking siren mode clients that are like, ah, like just
And you
acting like
still
they're getting
do it.
killed, and Xavier's just like totally cool and chill about it.
Yeah, because it's hidden.
You have tolerated a lot. Exactly. If they're still under the needle,
I'm down. Let's
Then,
get it.
yeah, it don't
you can
matter.
cry, you can scream.
you're
I don't give
100 more understanding than I am. Because I tell people, stop that shit.
So-
that
Yeah.
makes me uncomfortable.
Don't be making
too.
noise. Because you're not my focus
Just
right here.
don't be trying to give me anxiety and telling me to rush me.
The vibes.
Telling me that your shitty ass forearm tattoos were done faster and better than
And I don't
what I
care
am
because
doing.
those aren't me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The ones that you have look like shit. Like they're like a shitty version of a traditional rose tattoo. They're not good.
Yeah.
They're just not good. So you,
Mhm.
your tattoos, the tattoo I'm doing on you, you can get the fuck up and bounce because I don't need you. Like I'm booked for a few months at a time, and people that actually respect me and respect the work that I'm doing and understand that I'm gonna try and do the best job that I can do, and it takes as long as it takes. I'm not trying to get over on you. I'm not trying to milk you for money.
I'm trying to do my best.
Trying to do the best I can do.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, you know? So go yourself.
Tough client to deal with. I don't know why I never get those clients.
So I'm glad that was
I
the
feel
first
like
one.
it's 'cause you
That's the
tell 'em
first
what it-
person I've ever had to kick out of a shop and not finish their tattoo. Tell them I didn't want to finish
you're
it.
super direct. Like you're like so direct about everything that it's basically just like your way there or the highway. So like if
Even
they're in
during
your
the consult,
chair,
yeah.
if they're in your chair, they're already past the point of just like
Well, yeah.
you're
They're already submitting.
yes, yeah. Like
Well, I mean, even my deposit form, I mean, it has shit like that in there. Like,
they sign their life away.
yeah, they sign their life away. I reserve the right to refuse to tattoo anybody at any time, either before, during the session. It doesn't really matter when.
It
I don't have
says
to give
there's
a
a
reason
clause
why.
that says if you're not that cash money, get the
That's how mine is now, dude. Like I have a long ass
Pay
form.
me.
I have a
House
long
got
ass
hit by
form.
lightning, you pay me.
I have a long ass pre-recorded message in my notes that I copy and paste on everything, so it can't be misconstrued.
But it's even
At
weird
all.
because I don't even all the shit in my deposit agreement. I don't even have people that balk at that. Like for some reason, I just attract people that are like,
no
okay,
one
cool.
gives a dude.
Like,
no one bats a
That's an eyelash. So
Dude,
I don't know. I
no
don't know
one
how you
ever
guys
has.
or some people I know even be getting these type of clients. I don't understand how it happens.
Because we tattoo more than you.
I guess so. I mean, especially these days. Shit. I tattoo maybe like
I'm just too willing. I'm nicer than I should be.
you're all
I'm starting
low blow.
like right now nowadays I feel like I can tell when somebody's probably gonna be off, but a lot of times I still try to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Do you think that was a low blow?
Well, maybe. I mean, I'm injured as far as my wrist or whatever. I used to tattoo a lot.
Are you
bro.
though?
I am. Yeah. It's called tendinosis.
James was a machine.
That sounds like a
It-
fake ass.
You got to the shop.
You got to the shop after
You got
my
to the
injury.
shop at a different era, bro.
Stage
Bro,
5.
you haven't seen me.
Ligma.
You haven't seen me.
You got to the shop at a different era. When I got there, this was a machine.
No,
like
it wasn't.
the machine.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like I couldn't get him to come do anything with me after work on the weekends.
I was there.
She was there.
Even
That's how
on
you
like
develop
Sundays.
tendinosis.
This fool was even
Exactly.
working.
I
That's why it
developed
happened.
ligma.
This
I
fool was
went
working
so
on
hard
days
that I
off.
had to go softer.
Yo, like for real.
For years?
He was the hardest. He
that
owned the
sounds
shop.
counterintuitive.
He was the owner of the shop and worked harder than anyone there.
I think that's how
I
it
might
should
have been
be.
number 2. I might have worked number 2 as hard. No, Matt would be number 2, and I'd be number
Matt was
3.
working pretty hard.
I'd be number 3 behind both of them.
Yeah.
But James was outworking all of us back then. For sure.
And I have my YouTube channel popping. I was
100%.
editing videos. I'm going to the boxing gym 4 times a week. I'm going to the
and then doing all the shit around the shop that need to get done too. This
Yeah.
fool's still busting out like 12-hour days, like 4 or 5 days a week.
It sounds like you used to be like really good.
I used to tattoo.
That's cold, bro.
Bro, Adam is so
cold-blooded.
funny.
But
What
luckily, it's been getting better. So I've been able to do a little bit longer sessions, but I feel like maybe I'm still in the habit mentally, like to where I feel like I'm held back a little bit, even though it has been getting better. So, but as far as like tattooing more, tattooing less, I feel like, I mean, how many total people you tattooed, how many total hours you tattooed, you know what I'm saying? I busted out some fat sessions on a lot of different people, and I've worked some 13, 14-hour sessions and done a
Some
lot
wild
of shit,
ones.
bro. Like,
I've seen a lot of your
Busting
tattoos,
out full
and
St.
I know you
Michaels in
have.
1 days and full flying outer
and
arm pieces.
You don't get to this point where you're at unless you're like grinding your ass off
Exactly.
every day.
Also, as
And
far as
I know you have.
yeah, I know you're just joking, but as far as the clients, too,
I
like
really,
as far as
no, I really am. I'm just with you because I followed your whole career. Like,
yeah,
ever
I
since
mean, you've
Modern
known me
Ink,
since the
dude.
beginning. Yeah,
so
you know me since I was
literally,
an apprentice,
like,
yeah.
even when I was in Seattle, like I know you grind, dude.
yeah. As far as the clients though, with like not getting those types, I feel like a lot of it happens during the emails. Like when they email me with some shit,
You eat them,
I
right?
just don't respond to them.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I can
weird
tell.
in the email. Nope.
I feel like I can tell that there's something off. But a lot of times, like my good nature will still want to give them the benefit of the doubt, even though my experience is saying you probably shouldn't with this person.
Yeah.
We've talked
You know what
about
I mean?
that, and I'm at the point in my career where I can't say no to anybody, but I'm also, my personality type is just susceptible to being railed by the Karens. It's a hard life out here.
I don't know if you
for
need to
me.
put that out there,
Railed.
but
She's
ultimately,
just like,
you're,
spread your cheeks, Nicole.
dude,
Yeah.
you're
I'm going in dry, Nicole.
Yeah, exactly.
Bite the pillow, Nicole.
Literally.
you're the captain of your own destiny. So ultimately, it's up to you,
Adam, don't make it sound like
dude. You don't have to do any of that.
I
You
literally
don't.
do.
You don't have to do
No, you
anything you
don't.
I
don't
will
want to
do
do.
anything
Don't.
for $20.
Jeez.
A case of Natty Lights.